Welcome back to the deep dive. The world of AI, it's just moving so incredibly fast, right? And often the biggest moves, the really impactful stuff, it happens kind of behind the scenes,
Yeah.
shaping our digital future in ways we might not even, fully grasp yet.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of these really monumental deals that's been making some serious waves. Our mission, for you listening, is to really dig into this fascinating 6-year, $10 billion partnership between Meta and Alphabet's Google Cloud platform. And look, this isn't just about a big number flashing up. It's a really fascinating insight into where artificial intelligence is actually heading, why these huge tech companies are pouring, hundreds of billions into infrastructure like this, and, well, what it all means for innovation down the line.
Yeah, and our deep dive today, it's mostly guided by this really insightful article, Alphabet Wins Meta Cloud Deal, AI's Future and Investor Opportunity. It really helps connect the dots on these huge strategic moves, lays out a pretty compelling case for understanding the why behind investments this massive.
Yeah. Exactly. And trust me, what we're about to unpack, it tells us so much about AI's direction. We'll explore Meta's, really ambitious AI strategy and Google Cloud's competitive edge too, highlighting how just this one deal, it kind of reveals these much larger, really critical industry shifts. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, so the headline that, well, it grabbed our attention immediately, Meta Platforms. They've inked a 6-year deal worth a staggering $10 billion. With Alphabet's Google Cloud Platform, or GCP, $10 billion, that's just an eye-watering amount of money, right? And it immediately makes you wonder, why? Why would a company like Meta, which is, famous for building its own enormous data centers, why turn to Google Cloud for something this significant?
It's a great question, and it's definitely not happening in a vacuum. This deal, it's actually, well, it shows us a much larger trend among the hyperscalers, Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet. These giants have been just pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into AI infrastructure over the last few years. It's like an accelerating global arms race, but for the tech that actually powers AI.
Right, and a huge chunk of that money, it's going towards getting hold of graphics processing units, GPUs, and also designing custom silicon. From companies like NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom. These aren't just like computer parts. The source actually calls them the backbones of the AI infrastructure revolution. They're the specialized brains, really, inside those huge data centers, doing the heavy lifting, the complex math needed for advanced AI.
Okay, that's a really critical point. So this isn't just Meta, like renting some generic server space somewhere. The article really suggests there's a deeper strategic reason here, that Meta's huge AI ambitions are the real key. So what is driving Meta's intense focus on AI, and how does this deal fit into that bigger picture? Absolutely, and that really is the core of it. This Google Cloud deal, it's not isolated at all. It's a critical piece of Meta's really aggressive, multi-pronged push into AI. And you can see that reflected in their record capital spending right now. It's huge. For instance, they recently invested, $14.3 billion. Just massive. In Scale AI, they're a leading data labeling startup. And for anyone maybe not familiar, data labeling is that crucial process, tagging raw data images, audio, whatever, so the AI models can actually understand it, learn from it. Think about, teaching a kid what a cat is by showing them loads of pictures labeled cat. It's vital because higher quality data, that's the foundation for training any AI system accurately and scaling it up. And on top of that, Meta also created a whole new research group, Meta Superintelligence Labs, MSL, dedicated purely to pushing the boundaries of AI.
Wow. Okay. So if I'm hearing this right, these aren't just small tweaks they're making. These investments, the crazy spending, the new labs, it all points to Meta aiming for something, well, way beyond just refining the systems they already have.
Precisely. What all these things together really signal is Meta's clear ambition. They want to push past the traditional large language models, the LLMs we hear about all the time. They want to position themselves right at the forefront of what's next in AI, artificial general intelligence, AGI. This is about building AI that can, understand, learn, apply knowledge across a whole range of tasks, much more like a human does, not just doing one specialized thing.
Okay, AGI, that's the big goal then.
Yeah, and this is where that Google Cloud partnership becomes so insightful. For AGI, Meta isn't just looking for raw computing power. They need these highly specialized integrated systems, ones that can handle the sheer scale and complexity of training something like AGI. Google Cloud's Tensor Processing Units, their TPUs, and their whole optimized setup, it's not just good. It represents a distinct approach, an architecture that Meta clearly believes is critical for getting to AGI faster, more efficiently than trying to build every single piece themselves. It's really an acceleration play. So as Meta scales up its next-gen AI tools, develops these agentic assistants, they talk about basically AI that can handle complex multi-step tasks on its own, like a personal agent. And of course, enhances its ad algorithms. This deal gives them both the capacity and that unique specialization they need to really compete hard in this rapidly evolving AI landscape.
That really clarifies the why from Meta's side, definitely. But Meta isn't the only big player tapping Google Cloud for this kind of specialized AI stuff, right? The article also points out another huge partnership Google Cloud has, this one with OpenAI, the makers of ChatGPT, another giant in the AI space.
Exactly. And this highlights something really fascinating. A subtle but important shift happening in the cloud world. We're now seeing even companies that were, deeply tied to the big incumbents like Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services, AWS. Even they are diversifying their cloud providers now. It suggests there's this growing recognition that, well, no single cloud provider has all the answers, especially when you get into these highly specialized AI capabilities. And Google Cloud specifically has some key differentiators that are pulling in these major players. Things like access to Google's own chips, the Tensor Processing Units, the TPUs we mentioned, plus its infrastructure, which is really built with AI optimization in mind from the ground up. And also advanced cybersecurity protocols, the article notes that as a major differentiator too. These are specialized tools, giving a competitive edge that even the biggest tech firms are actively seeking out.
So it really sounds like, okay, AWS might have pioneered the public cloud, and maybe Azure really dominated enterprise IT for a while. But Alphabet has successfully carved out this very distinct role, an AI-first cloud provider, really focusing on machine learning, data analytics. The fact that both Meta and OpenAI have chosen Google Cloud for these massive AI deals, well, it really underscores how strongly Alphabet's strategy is resonating, doesn't it? Especially with the company setting the pace in AI.
That's a perfect summary, yeah. And what's particularly interesting, if we connect this to the bigger picture, is that multi-cloud strategies, they're rapidly becoming the norm across the industry.
Yeah.
Companies just don't want to be locked into one single vendor anymore, especially not as AI workloads get more and more complex, both for training and for running the models. By, spreading their workloads across different providers, businesses can optimize for cost, for performance, for availability. And they also avoid those computing bottlenecks that can pop up if you rely too heavily on just one system. It gives them flexibility, resilience, and, crucially, access to the best tools for specific jobs wherever they might be.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. So looking at this from Alphabet's perspective then, beyond just the immediate cash injection, this Meta deal really underlines its strategic importance in this whole AI cloud ecosystem. It's a pretty loud statement about their capabilities, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Securing a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar partnership with a company like Meta, it doesn't just boost revenue visibility for Google Cloud, which is great for them, obviously, but it also profoundly validates years and years of really heavy investment they've made in AI infrastructure. It proves their strategy is working, that they're seen as a critical, indispensable partner in this AI race.
Okay, now the article, it highlights an interesting point for investors, and we should be clear, this is the author's perspective we're relaying here. It suggests that despite all this progress, these major strategic wins we've been talking about, Alphabet stock, according to the author, remains undervalued relative to peers in the cloud space. That's an interesting viewpoint to consider, given everything.
It is interesting. The article specifically points out that Alphabet is trading at a forward price-to-earnings multiple, or PE, of just 21. And the implication, according to the author, Adam Spataco, is that the market still appears to underappreciate the accelerating momentum across the company's business. He essentially sees a gap between the company's current valuation and its robust leading position among these AI hyperscalers, especially with huge deals like Meta's really solidifying that standing. Yeah, the author goes as far as calling it a no-brainer opportunity and dirt cheap. Really strong words, reinforcing his view of Alphabet's leading position among AI hyperscalers. Again, that's his take on their market position.
Okay, so as we start to wrap up this deep dive, it seems really clear that this Meta Google Cloud deal, it's much more than just a transaction. It's like a powerful window into Meta's incredibly ambitious chase for artificial general intelligence, AGI, into Google Cloud's highly specialized AI capabilities, and into this broader industry shift towards these, sophisticated multi-cloud strategies. These are really foundational movements shaping the whole future of tech.
Definitely. And If you connect this back to the bigger picture, it's just so evident that the race to AGI, it isn't just about brilliant algorithms or new models. It's equally, maybe even more so right now, about the actual physical infrastructure that supports them. The massive investments in GPUs and custom silicon and these strategic partnerships, like one we discussed, that make sure companies have the specialized power they need to really push the boundaries of what AI can do. It really shows how deeply hardware and software are intertwined in this new era of innovation.
So here's something to think about as you consider the future of AI and just how incredibly fast it's all evolving. When you see companies like Meta and OpenAI, I mean, the ones literally at the bleeding edge of AI development, actively diversifying their cloud providers specifically for specialized AI infrastructure. What does that really imply? What does it tell us about the competitive landscape of cloud computing itself over the next decade? And how might it reshape what we even consider the standard for developing AI in the future? It's a truly exciting and, yeah, incredibly fast-changing time that we're all watching unfold right now.